Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Thank you all for joining the call. I see a lot of beautiful people out there today. Today is a beautiful day we all should be thankful for, first and foremost. With that being said, our fearless leader, Mr. Thomas, is traveling, so let's keep him in prayers today as he makes it back home. However, just like he always does, he has put us in great hands. And the individual that we're going to hear from today is no stranger to anyone on this call. This lady has been leading the charts. She's one of our top leaders, regional director, building this business globally, 4 countries, part-time basis. And she has been killing it, you know what I mean, with all of her presentations. It's been amazing. Outside of her busy schedule with her and her husband, she's still been able to grow a fantastic business. So what we're going to do today, it is my honor and privilege to bring up the boss today. She's going to give us a very, very great message about having belief. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce or reintroduce to everyone the boss lady, Miss Natasha Ismail. Are you there, ma'am?
Yes, I am. Thank you so much, Mr. Clemens. Can we please give him a hand, everyone, for doing such a great job? And we know everything that, happens behind the scenes, all the slides, all the music. That stuff is not easy. I don't know how to do it. Mr. Thomas doesn't know how to do it, but thanks to Mr. Clemens, we're able to have that professionalism in our presentation. So I want to give it back to him. And second of all, I want to go ahead and thank Mr. Thomas. I know he's traveling right now and he's gonna miss the call, but I know he's gonna go back, hear it, and what leaders do is ask for constructive criticism. So I'll get that too. But welcome everyone. Thank you guys so much for being here today. I'm super, super excited. It's gonna be a short message today, but I hope it touches at least 1 to 10 to 20 to 30 people on the call. Hopefully it touches everyone, but before we get started, I want to tell everybody a little bit about my story. My name is Natasha, and I'm here in beautiful, hot California. And when I was growing up, I did what my parents told me to do. Went to school, did my associates, bachelor's, even got my master's degree. And then after that, I was like, is this it? What else? What's next? And I always had this feeling inside that there had to be more, that there was something more that I could be doing. There were more people that I could be helping. I always believed that there was something more. And then here comes ACN. And it comes in the form of a package that you would never expect to get it in. How many of us have ever looked under the Christmas tree and you see this package and it's a really, really big box and you're super excited and you go to open it and there's another box inside, and then you open that and then there's another box inside, and then you open it and it's like a little trinket, something that you would not imagine, right? So this came in that form, and it was something that I never imagined I would be doing. It's something I never imagined would be a career path for me, at least. And now being in this company, being in this industry, I don't know anything else I would rather want to do. So that's going to lead me into my topic is belief. So we've talked about fear. We've talked about being disciplined. We've talked about grit. Miss Magali did a fantastic job last night on grit. And all of these things that we talk about, there's something that if that thing is missing, nothing else is going to happen. Nothing else is going to fall into place. And I was reading a story. So I'm going to tell everyone this story. And I know everyone is familiar with the story. But there was a man one day walking by an elephant camp. He sees all these big, beautiful elephants, and they're supposed to be roaming around. But none of the elephants were roaming around. So he looks down at their ankles and he sees these big, beautiful, powerful creatures that were tied up by a single small rope. The small rope was tied around their ankle and very, very tight. So you would think it would hurt them or cut off circulation, and it probably did. They had scars and they were growing bigger than the rope. So they were outgrowing the rope. And he looked at them, he looked super confused. So what he did was he went up to one of the trainers and he said, hey, how is it that these big elephants don't try to run away? Don't they know that they're more powerful? Don't they know that all they have to do is just kick the rope and it's going to break? So this is what the trainer replied. He said, when they are very young and much smaller, we use the same size rope to tie them. And at that age, it's enough to hold them. It's enough to hold them. As they grow up, they are conditioned to believe they cannot break away. They believe the rope can still hold them, so they never try to break free. My question to everyone is, what is your rope? Everybody on this call at one point in time had a rope tying them up, holding them down. So think about this for a second. When we're growing up and we're in school, we're in elementary school, everything that we go through is conditioning. Everything that we go through is conditioning you to think a certain way or not to think. Because in school, we're not taught how to think. We're taught how to follow directions. We're taught how to be obedient. We're taught how to listen and do. We're not taught to think for ourselves. There's sometimes in elementary school, how many of us remember the creative writing portion? The teacher would give you a prompt and you can use your imagination, write whatever you wanted. Now for this, I'm going to use an example of a man, and I want everybody to try to think and guess who he is. So this man, one day, the teacher says, all right, everybody get out a sheet of paper, and I want everyone to write down what you're going to be when you grow up. So he gets a sheet of paper. He starts writing. All he writes down is, I'm going to be on TV. Ms. Belinda Batiste knows who I'm talking about. So he says, I'm going to be on TV. That's it. Takes it to the teacher, super happy because the teacher called on him and he never gets called on. Never gets called on. Stuttered a little bit, didn't think he was good enough. The teacher told him he wasn't good enough. And he goes up there about 8 or 9 years old, really, really happy with this little sheet of paper. And the teacher says, that's not going to happen. You can't be on TV. Who do you know in your family that's ever been on TV? Who do you personally know that's ever been on TV? So he got really upset, went back down, sat back down in his chair. Everybody in the classroom made fun of him. And now, every year for Christmas, he sends that teacher a big screen TV because that was Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey was told he was never going to be on TV. But do you know why he was on TV? Because even though the whole world did not believe in him, he believed in himself. He was not like the elephant letting the rope hold him back. Each of us growing up have been given that rope. Each of us have been given that limitation, that limiting belief that you're not good enough, you're too old, you're too young, you're too this, you're too that, you're too pretty, you're too ugly. All of these things are limiting beliefs. And at one point in time, all of us have gone through something or had a limiting belief like that. So what is your rope? Think about it. Was it your parents telling you you're never going to amount to anything? And you were being told it so much that you started to believe it, even though that wasn't the truth. But when you start believing something so much, your mind cannot tell the difference between something that is real, that has happened, or something that you're imagining and believing that hasn't happened yet. Your mind cannot tell the difference. And we spoke about faith. I spoke about faith and fear the last call. Now, out of Think and Grow Rich, I'm going to read a sentence and I want everybody to think about this. You can interconnect faith and belief. So I have the definition for belief, and I will give everybody that in a second. So in Think and Grow Rich, it says, faith is a state of mind Faith is a state of mind which can be induced or created. Can be induced or created by affirmation or repeated instructions to the subconscious mind through the principle of autosuggestion. I'm going to read that one more time for people that are taking notes, and hopefully everyone has their notebooks. Faith is a state of mind which may be induced or created by affirmation or repeated instructions to the subconscious mind through the principle of autosuggestion. Now, if this is telling us that you can induce or create faith, then do we really have a rope? Can that rope be taken off? Can that rope be kicked off? Can that rope be ripped off? Of course it can, because the rope never existed. We've been told our whole lives at least one limiting belief that was somebody else's that they gave to us. That they gave to us. It didn't even belong to us. If you find something that's lost, what do you do in school, elementary school? We take it to the lost and found, right? Take this, give it to the lost and found. Whoever it belongs to will find it. But somewhere along the line, we picked up what was never ours in the first place. That limiting belief did not belong to us. It's not for us. It's not meant for us. We hear Mr. Thomas time and time again say God doesn't create junk. So why do we treat ourselves like it? When Mr. Lewis talked about loving yourself, physically, mentally, spiritually, financially, there's so many aspects to that. But why do we treat ourselves like we have a rope? There's no rope. Get rid of it. It was never yours to belong with. Return it to the lost and found and pick up a new belief. What's the difference between people that are average, good, and great? And we touched on this last time. Even though it's a little bit more of what? A little bit more of what? It could be faith, it could be grit, but it's a little bit more belief. That person that turned into the now Michael Jordan had more belief than anybody else. He believed that he was a better basketball player than anybody else. He believed that he was the best. Muhammad Ali, boxer, he said, I am the greatest. And guess what? He told himself that enough to where he started believing it. So, because remember, it can be induced or created by affirmations. If we know that you hold the power, you can create anything you want to. For those of you that have seen The Secret, you know the guy that bought the house and then he found his vision board, he saw the house on it. He believed at that point in time when he made that vision board that this is going to be my house. He believed it. He believed that this is going to be my house. And guess what? It was his house. And he completely forgot about that when he did believe it. When you start to believe things, what happens is your actions will come and match that belief. Write that down. When you believe something so strongly, your actions will come up to match that belief. Your actions will match that belief. But if you have a rope, that's your belief. That either you've adopted or you've created or somebody else has given you, or that you've picked up from the lost and found when it didn't belong to you. That limiting belief can completely transform your life or can completely destroy your life. I'm going to say that one more time. The limiting beliefs can completely transform your life or destroy your life. But if you know it can be induced or created, what does that tell you? Who's in control? You. You are in charge of your life. The universe might control it, conspire, whatever, but you're in charge of you and you're in charge of this. Mr. Lewis is crazy about David Goggins, and I see why. He has no ropes. He had so many ropes. One on his arm, one on the other arm, one on the left foot, one on the right foot. He could have stayed there. This average overweight guy, he could have stayed there. But what did he do? He got rid of all those ropes and he was like, I'm going to be a Navy SEAL. Out of nowhere. This dude is super overweight, doesn't work out, doesn't eat right, nothing. But guess what? He got rid of the rope. And as soon as he did that and he started believing that he could, the universe made it happen. The universe made it happen. He went on to be one of the best. He has run marathon after marathon after marathon. And Mr. Lewis will tell you a story another time. But this man believed that he could. How, growing up, I know everybody has heard this story. The little engine that could. The little engine that could what? Do anything because he what? Believed it. But if you don't believe it, you can't achieve it. You have to believe it before anything else takes place. Before you even take that first step, before you even start a DMO, before you start making that phone call, before you reach out to people, you yourself have to believe that this is for you, that this is going to work. And if you don't believe that this is going to work, you better believe that you're going to make it work. Every single person here has a family, has a legacy. Remember, you have the baton. But are you taking it and are you running with it? Or are you just holding it, you're going to drop it and you're disqualified? The last person that wins the race wins because he believes that he can. Now, how do you get this belief? How do we create this unstoppable mindset or have this faith that we can do anything? You have to have a vision. Write that down. You have to have a vision. A vision. A vision. Know where you are going. Know where you are going. What does Mr. Thomas say? When there's an architect and he gets a plan for a building and somebody's telling him, look, I want it to look like this, 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 this. First of all, that person that's telling him the ideas believes that it can be made. Believes that it can be made. But then after that, the architect has to have the vision to make it come into reality. Without the belief, without vision, people what? Perish. You have to have that belief and that vision that you know where you're going. You have to know that you know that you know that you know where you are going. What's your destination? What's your end result? Are you in this to be CQ, ETL, RD, RVP, SVP? What is the ultimate goal? Without a goal, you can't have a vision, and without vision, you don't have belief. Everything is tied together. But look, if I sit down with a new person right now and I tell them, all right, let's pick up the phone, let's call your first person. How much belief do they have if they have not signed up any customers, or they are not qualified yet, or they haven't gotten their first check? Belief level is pretty low. Can we agree on that? Now, if after they sign up services, their phone still works, they're happy, they qualify, and they know they're getting their first check, how high is their belief level? Very, very high, okay? The difference between those two is what? Belief. One believes that he can, and one believes that he can't. One believes that he can, and one believes that he can't. Now, before we pick up the phone, think to yourself for a second. Before you pick up the phone to make a phone call, are you intentional about that phone call? The text that you're about to make, are you intentional about that text? Before you even speak to anybody, do you believe? Do you believe that it's going to happen? Do you believe that that person on the other line needs something so bad and they are so ready to receive and you're going to be the one to deliver? Do you believe that? Or do you, man, I don't know. I got to make these phone calls. I don't want to make these phone calls. They're not going to sign up. What are you telling yourself? What are you believing is going to happen? What's your vision? What's your vision? What's your rope? What is your rope? When a baby is born, what's the first word that a baby learns? No. That's the first word. No. Don't touch that. Don't do this. Nope. First word. How many of us, that was a rope? Think about it. That was a rope. Growing up, we're told no so many times, and that's the first word that we learn, that growing up, we start to believe in those limitations. Before we're about to go out on the playground, oh, nope, I better not do this. Before we're about to play volleyball, oh, nope, I better not do this. Before we're going to the ball wall, before we're about to run, before we join a sports team, before we take that class, before we make that move, before we talk to that person, before we apply for that job, we have that hesitation. No, I better not. That holds people back because that's a rope. It's a rope. I told the story about the two birds. One bird was super safe, just, kind of peeked over, was like, nope. But the second bird got rid of his rope, flew off with his mother. Which bird are you? What is your rope? What is your rope? And can you get rid of that rope? So the first way to get what you want is to believe. You have to believe without a shadow of a doubt that you can and you will. And why not? What's the difference between anybody on this call and Mr. Thomas, who's a senior vice president? He believed he could. Like the little engine that could, he believed. But some of us are so conditioned that we just don't believe. We stop believing. Walt Disney created Disneyland so people can imagine and they can believe that anything is possible. Albert Einstein, your imagination is the preview to life's coming attractions. It's the preview. The book is Think and Grow Rich. Not say it and grow rich, not work and grow rich. Think and grow rich. You think it. You think it into existence. Once you think about something, those are the words that you're going to use. Once you think about something, those are the actions that you're going to have. Once you think about something, that is how you operate in the world. But if you think that you're not good enough and that's your rope, you're holding yourself back. If God was done with you, you would not wake up this morning. You would not be here right now. When you raise your belief level, your actions are going to follow. How are you operating in life? Think about it right this second. Are you giving it everything you've got? Are you being like Michael Jordan? Are you being like Kobe Bryant? Are you being like a senior vice president? Are you operating to that level? Are you operating to that level? You need to know that you can do this. You need to know that you have what it takes. You need to believe that you have what it takes. Believe that you are here for a reason and you're going to make it happen. You're the last one holding the baton. How are you going to go out? Dropping it and being disqualified, or are you going to finish the race? Are you going to finish the race? Are you going to believe that you can. It can be induced and it can be created by affirmations. What are you telling yourself? What do you tell yourself and what do you believe? And as soon as you get the belief down, as soon as you get that down, anything is possible if you just believe. Mr. Clemens, I'm going to hand it back over to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. That call was amazing. I'm sure you can see all the comments coming through still. And we still have people trying to join the call now. It's amazing. Thank you for that. I know today we have, do we have any more calls today? No, we don't. However, that means you need to schedule your own personal business Zoom today. So make sure you get your schedule today, get with your leader so that we can make sure we're all still making progress every single day in our business. And more importantly, just like Miss Natasha said, just have belief, just do it. Tomorrow, I know we have our other leader on, Mr. Julian Lewis. He's on the call today, so we know he's going to bring another fire message tomorrow as well. So with that being said, we're not going to hold you any more longer. Thank you again, Miss Natasha, for giving us those words today, and we'll see you all tomorrow morning. But like I said, go ahead and get your private business Zoom scheduled today so that these next few days, we're bringing in more people that are needing to hear what we have for the rest of this month and the rest of this year. Thank you again. We'll see you all soon.